All right, here with head coach Billy Hickman. Coach, had your first season in the Lone Star Conference. Just go over, what your thoughts were for this first season.
Yeah, I think the learning curve is very steep going from being an assistant to being a head coach. And so, for our program to improve, I have to improve. And this year was great to see what was needed for me to do that in that role. I think we had a lot of young guys play, which typically we're not going to want. But going forward, that experience for these guys is invaluable, and we have a really great nucleus of guys returning. And so this year was great for that.
All right, and already into the off season here, a couple names in the transfer portal, a couple names coming in. How do you fill the positions that you'll be leaving in? Are you out there looking for a specific player or position that you need to be filled?
Yeah, absolutely. College football anymore is super fluid, especially this time of year at every single level. So for us, we're going to continue our recruiting plan as we have. We're going to dominate our state. We want to focus in El Paso, then into Arizona and California, Southern California. And so for us, there certainly will be a number of positions that we're looking to fill mid-year to push for strong competition in the spring. And we want guys here in the spring and the summer who we're going to be playing with in the fall. And I think that was part of the issue. We had plenty of new faces come August, and that's something that we want to avoid. So, always there'll be guys that we lose and then guys that we gain, and we're looking forward to the new chapter in our program.
All right, and just 2-8, not the way you wanted to have things finished. Just what do you take away from each of those games?
All 10 games, or just
all 10 in a row. You had a few there.
Yeah.
That went your way early season. First
sure.
and last games went your way. You had a few close games, and then obviously the blowouts.
Yeah.
What do you take away from each type of those experiences?
Well, just like anything, our goal this year was to play good football, and we fell short of that in a lot of ways. Especially that last game, it was super encouraging because we did play good football. The kids played really hard. They responded to a tough week of practice and coming off a couple of challenging losses. And again, with those young guys getting that experience and the guys who are going to be the heart of our program, seeing that and seeing how that work bore out success is great. To bookend a season starting with a win and a loss is great. Obviously, we'd like to sprinkle it with more wins in the interim, but there's certainly a ton of lessons from those struggles early on.
All right. And just one more finishing thought. What will you take away to change next year from this? You said you obviously learned a lot of things going in, but what in your personal way of coaching there will you take and change next year coming in?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is making sure we're identifying our guys. We want guys who want to be here, who want to be coached hard, who want to be in a program that's developmental, and then have a really tough spring. I think, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself, I tried to hold on to too much from what we were doing previously. We did have a winning season, but in order to grow the culture the way that I know that will allow us to sustain being really good, sustain a culture that's super productive, we need to be really tough this spring and summer going forward. So I would say that's the biggest thing we're going to change. We're going to change the way we did stuff during the spring and the off season.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.